Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Bonnie Builder, and let's queer up gay culture. Looking at our gay history through rare photos of vintage Beefcake magazines. A new art book titled Physique by renowned critic and curator Vince Aletti has collected rare photos from bodybuilding and weightlifting magazines from the early 20th century through the 60s. The collection highlights an emergent queer sensibility from a time when closeted men in the pre-liberation era had to hide their orientation. These frequently suggestive images from Physique magazines were disguised as being about health and fitness, but were often barely disguised softcore queer erotica for and by gay men. The book, which includes over 250 images, also has an essay from Aletti that gives insight into the history of the hidden gay culture of these magazines. In it, he shares a personal account of coming across such a magazine while on a family vacation. He writes, quote, "I don't remember picking up the magazine, but it opened to a page which stopped and startled me. Two mostly naked teenagers were posed for a picture titled Victor and Vanquished, one slung over the other's shoulder. Both boys were smiling, exhilarated, but I was fixated on their points of contact, especially where the naked groin of the vanquished touched the victor's bare shoulder. What did that feel like? What could that feel like? Thinking about it made me dizzy and more aroused than I realized," end quote. Popular magazines from the 30s, such as Strength and Health, started the trend, but many of them distanced themselves from illusions of homosexual activity. Other magazines were printed pocket-sized to be easier to hide, such as Adonis and Body Beautiful at the time. Homosexuality was illegal, and magazines had to operate within the confines of strictly enforced obscenity laws. Now, I'm jealous that I had to read the story because I didn't get to look at the pictures. Y'all over here gawking at the screen. I ain't seen now one of these pictures, but I think this is an incredible story of our queer history. Obviously, there was a reason that they had to do this. They couldn't overtly have men.com blasted all over the place back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there. What was it like? Did you see the magazines with the men's on it?
Listen, bitch.
Was it black and white? Was it sepia tones?
Yes, it was in black and white. I remember, was it Bianchi?
You're asking her because she was there.
Bianchi, remember that photographer? He used to make these postcards and magazines, and every time, I used to come here visiting. I'm not from here, so I used to come here like when I was a teenager, and I will go to gay bookstores, and these were the first things that I remember seeing gay men.
Oh, wow.
In a very artistic way. It was just, this is in the 90s, bitch. Okay, so don't even.
I'm sorry, I was learning my ABCs.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
No, it's before the internet was as big as it was, where we would get, like now we get all our porn, we get all our pictures from the internet, you know? And back then you had to go search out for it.
Yeah.
And during a time when homosexuality was just plain out illegal,
exactly.
you had to seek out publications like this, you know what I mean? Like I remember being a young kid, and obviously in my house I wasn't gonna see any titties, so I went looking for a National Geographic because somebody told me that they had titties in there. So I was like, all right, you know what I mean? So you gotta look, you gotta find.
Shout out to the Aborigines.
Shout out to the Aborigines, you know what I mean? The pictures looked incredible. I didn't see one black or brown person, unfortunately. Maybe we didn't exist back then. I don't know. That's about the only little clause that I've got to say about this.
Can you imagine a housewife talking to another housewife like, oh my God, Dan's really into fitness. He has a lot of magazines under his bed.
Oh my God, he loves this magazine. It's honest.
Right.
I
don't see him working out too much, but like he just loves flipping through those magazines.
And I went to go grab the magazine. It was a little sticky. I don't know why, but
cracked in half.
It shows how resourceful we were. I mean, I remember as a kid looking at, underwear, underwear ads and stuff going, looking at it sideways.
My underwear is a little tighter.
I mean, it just shows how resourceful we are. And it is artistic on top of that.
Yes.
It really is artistic and beautiful, but it also shows that, we found our ways to exist.
Yeah.
Even then.
Yeah.
I remember International Mail Catalog.
Oh, yes. I've heard of that.
I don't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the
International Mail.
International Mail.
The Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy from the soap opera that now is the black guy?
Barack Obama.
No. He was a model back then. He left such an impression on me.
It was that big? My God.
It's Shamar Moore.
He was always in my top 10.
Fine ball, man.
So when I was reading this story, like it really triggered me from childhood. I was born in the 70s. I know I don't look it at all. But that's how it took me a long time to figure out that I was gay. And I remember we didn't have, I mean, it might as well have been illegal then, because I was in such a religious community, and I was part of an evangelical group that was like, you know, you just don't even talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing some of this stuff and saying, like, I could see artistic beauty in this, but there's no way I could be gay. Like, I'm not gay. Like, this is not porn. This is just two guys just having fun. It's like teenagers, you know? And the excuses that I would make in my head to justify I wasn't gay because I was looking at this kind of material.
And enjoying it.
Yeah. And later on, probably in my early 20s, like, I had to revisit all of this, and I would go back to that and the Abercrombie and Fitch campaigns and stuff, and putting it all together, and I'm like, I have to decide if I'm gay, and I'm like, what is it that I like about this? And it was really something that I wrestled with, you know, looking at this kind of material. Yeah. And it was actually... then it was super hot. Then once I realized I was old enough to realize they knew what they were doing. Yeah. You know, like, this was an intentional thing. Yeah. It's not, you know.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I want to do that too.
Yeah. And I kind of made the decision, but it does kind of bring back, seeing those images takes me back to a place of like utter confusion and like, not like wanting to be good with God and all of that kind of stuff. So it is. I'm glad that he published this.
Yeah, Trini's triggered.
I know.
It can happen.
For me, it was more mundane. For me. It was.
I just like.
Remember Honcho, the Honcho magazine? Remember Honcho? Not you.
You are on this island alone, baby.
No. Let's make this quick. I hope this comment was worth us doing this. Go, tell me.
I mean, it helped me many nights, many nights. So it did. So it just, it was valuable. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.